Interest rates are up. Sales are way down right now. Sellers are frustrated. Buyers are sitting on the fence. Here's the ugly truth about interest rates and what you need to know right now. I'm Sean Hartley, RE/MAX Escarpment, Real Estate The Ugly Truth. And today I have two fantastic guests from Mission 35 Mortgages. I have Brian Hogben and Felicia
Matchett.
See, I never get her name right. I'm like, is it Matchett?
Yeah.
Matchett? Just
Everybody thinks
tell
it's
me how the
Matchett.
heck you say your name.
You got a good rate, she'll match it. No.
I will.
Hey, there we go.
That's it. Yeah.
Felicia.
Hope I never get married. Gonna have to come up with a new one.
Well, we'll see.
You guys sign the waivers, so I copyright everything, so that's mine. You can pay me for it. That's perfectly fine. We'll go with there.
Deal.
It's
All
worth
right.
it.
So just a quick reminder: if you like our show, don't forget to like and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. I'm trying to do more. I've been too busy lately, so we'll get going with that. Without further ado, maybe we can start with a little bit about Mission 35, the brokerage itself. And
Yeah, sure. Mission 35 was created because we are better than Freedom 55. Just kidding. Okay, so no.
Well, I'm not quite 50 yet, so I'm okay.
Okay. Well, there was anyways.
I'm past 35, so I'm screwed, kind of.
Good. Well, you know
Never
what?
tell.
The whole idea is that, at Mission 35, I was able to pay off my house by the time I was 35 years old through using investment in real estate to do that and spending less than what I make. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of tried, tested, and true adage for everybody out there, right? If you don't have a plan, you plan to fail, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So, and it's just having a mission. You want to pay off your mortgage, like whether it's Mission 40, Mission 50, Mission 60. I know some guys in our office are doing Mission 28. You know what
Mission
I mean?
before the dirt nap.
Yeah, So it's just having a goal, right? If you have no goal, you're not shooting towards anything. So have a goal, right? Mm-hmm. So we like to, help people achieve their goals when it comes down to financial security, and the mortgage is a great way to do that. It's probably people's biggest investment.
And how long have you guys been in business now?
We started in December of 2016. So
6 years.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really good with numbers. So yeah.
Trust Brian with your mortgages. He uses hands and toes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
We all use calculators today. Okay. So yeah, we've been in business. Just about 6 years, and it's been great. We've seen some ups and downs in the market, and now we're seeing some crazy interest rates too. So it's really good, and it's really exciting to be able to help people get advice on their biggest investment of their life.
And Felicia's one of your mortgage agents on your team?
Yeah, she's new. She's a superstar. We actually stole her from this red bank that pretends to be a superhero. They put S's on everything, so. Yeah. But yeah, she...
Obviously, I'm very, very smart.
And I know you're pretty particular about your agents, so you don't just take anybody, you handpick your people, right?
Well, you know what? I think actually, mortgages can be learned, right? And what we really look for is we look for great qualities in people, right? We look for people that really give a shit.
You see, it's about the people. It's not about the rates all the time.
Not. It's about people who give. We call it the give a shit meter. I hope that's okay if I say there. You know what I mean?
Too late.
Okay. Okay. Fair. But you know what? It's really about people who care, right? Because there's a lot of people in our industry, just like in real estate, who don't care. Like they're just in it for the transaction. They're just in it to sell a house or to do a mortgage. When I look at people like Felicia, she totally encapsulates what we look for at Mission 35 is good people, right? People who care, because she knows mortgages as well too, obviously, right? But it's also when you have someone who cares and wants to help, you can be wildly successful in our business, and that's why Felicia is.
Well, you want the infinite game, not the finite game, right?
Oh, I like that. Yeah,
there you
totally.
Yeah, Simon Sinek, one for you, buddy.
Yeah.
So, some of the questions I've come up with from clients of mine even that have reached out to me during all this, let's use the word debacle. Well, the beginning of 2022, if you're under a rock, it went off like a nuke. Everything sold like crazy. It was sold 2 days before they listed it, kind of idea. And then March break rolled along, and everything just went off. I see that just from my own personal clients. And interest rates have gone up how many times this year? 2020?
Well, the variable rate's gone up 1.25, so that's gone up. It's 3 times, 2.5 points in 1 quarter. And the fixed rate's gone up like 10 million times. It seems to be moving I think it just went up again. Like it's moving almost weekly.
Right,
so
and with numbers like that, the biggest question is, I don't understand that gibberish that he just spewed out. So what's the real cost of Joe Public's mortgage approval budget and payment? Does it affect everybody? So what is the actual costs for this quarter point, half point? To me that, I'm a realtor, I understand mortgages, let's be fair, but I don't run numbers all day long. I help people with homes, I help you make your decisions. I don't run your mortgage figures. So what actually does this translate into cost-wise for the average guy buying a house?
Yeah, so
In simple terms.
simple terms. So and explain it to me like I'm 6 terms.
Yeah.
Well, not 6. You can't buy real estate when you're 6. You have to be 18.
But it's not a bad time to be thinking about it when you're 6,
Legally,
right? Like, it's
yada,
not a
yada,
bad time to be
yada.
thinking
Anyway,
about it.
legal department.
Start saving.
Cue
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. So I mean, simply put, every time that they raise the rate, if you've got like a variable rate mortgage, it's not as scary as people might think it might be. So for every half point, you're going to see about $25 a month in an increase. So it's not something that breaks the bank.
$25 for what, though?
Per 100,000.
Per 100,000, yeah, per
Yep.
100,000.
So on $1 million mortgage, like the mortgage is $1 million, you're looking at $250 a month extra.
Give or take. It's really hard to like
Roughly.
You know what I mean? As detailed mortgage agents, very hard for us to simplify things because it's so complicated. But yes, it is give or take around $25 per half point increase per 100,000. But it depends on your amortization and things like that.
But as a
too.
rule of thumb, for somebody who sees a rate go up and they've got a variable and they see, oh my God, it's another half a point, that's going to cost me.
Yeah, quick and dirty way to do it is
Yeah,
that.
and that way you know whether you're going to be in trouble or not, or if you're a first-time buyer, you want to go and buy right now, and well, the rates went up, now I'm screwed. How does it affect their budget then, like when they're pre-approved?
You know what I think too is I think like and Felicia, we were just talking about this before. It's like, you know what? Don't just look at the interest rates. Interest rates should not dictate a buying decision.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think that people are very rate sensitive, and rightfully so, because the past, however long we've seen like rock bottom interest rates. And I think that when people hear that interest rates got up, they think that that's the only thing that's indicative of affordability, when really the purchase price comes into play a lot too. So we've seen a little bit of a cooling down in the market and hopefully moving toward more of like a balanced stance, which is going to make it a little bit easier, I would say, for first-time buyers to actually get their foot in the door.
Right. I think what you're doing here too is awesome, Sean, because it's funny how, we're in this industry every single day. Right? And we're reading about it every single day, and we know what's happening in the marketplace every single day. But the average person, and you know
could
what?
be above average. So
Yes, and you are above average.
I'm not going to say you're below average because I don't know you. So
Well, I guess it depends what we're talking about here, but this could go in a totally different direction here. So, well, anyways.
there's legal again. Anyway.
Yes. I lost my train of thought there. Okay, but for the average person, they don't know that the real estate market is where it is right now. Like, I had this beautiful dental hygienist the other day, got my teeth cleaned, and she was talking about buying a house. And you know what she said? She's like, the market's totally out of control right now. Things are way too expensive right now. It was almost like I had hopped into my time machine and was talking to someone in January of 2022, right? This information people are not seeing right now. You know what I mean?
It's like people are 6 months behind of what's actually happening.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my goodness, you know what? Actually, this is the time to buy the house right now because, the peak was February 2022, give or take, around there. And prices have declined over the past couple months. Now we're seeing conditional offers, right? And seeing
home inspections are coming back in.
Yeah.
All my home inspectors out there, you can get back in business again.
Yeah.
A couple of my home inspectors, they're like, Sean, I'm going to start an Etsy shop or something.
Tell them to close the Etsy shop, Tell them to close
it's
it.
all going to be coming back now.
Yeah.
And, that's the second question is how the interest rate is actually affecting people's purchase or sale decisions. Should they be buying now, waiting? I mean, I hate to say this, but 2018 we had a correction.
Yep.
And I was screaming from the top of my building, buy a house right now, because we saw up to some areas 15% correction. And everybody's like, no. The bubble's going to pop. We're going to get 35% or 40% drop in prices. And I'm like, you're nuts. And what happened? By the end of 2018, prices were back up again. By 2019, we completely recovered everything that switched in 2018. If you're going to play the grass is greener, well, hey, you know what? Whatever you get dealt, you're going to have to deal with it.
Yeah.
But what's happening right now, like this is my take. Okay, so my ugly truth is, if you're going to base your purchase decisions based on an interest rate that changes every 5 minutes, how could you possibly win on that, right? If you're going to buy a home at the lowest purchase price possible in the market you're in, that purchase price, let's say it's $1 million just for fun, that stays the same for the next rest of your mortgage. It's $1 million for 25 years. Your interest rate's going to go like this. So 1 minute, the interest rate could be rock bottom. You buy that expensive house and spend too much money. And then the next year, the rate goes up 2%, like we're seeing now. You didn't save anything. You bought when you thought the rate was low and it changed. So you just shot yourself in the foot. But if you buy based on your purchase price, you get to take advantages of those low interest rates on a purchase price that was reasonable in the first place.
Well, I think, and like Felicia's got a great example of that, because I think we had a client where they were pre-approved, or she had a client who was pre-approved. They were looking around the $850 range, and then they ended up buying for $650, right? So, and what does it actually shake out to? Because interest rates were lower and prices were higher,
right?
And now prices are lower and interest rates are higher. Like, you're always going to find the negative, but how did that actually shake out for the person?
Yeah, so the big thing that like I really took away from that example is that if you think about it, so say that it was like January 2022, February 2022, and you're purchasing for $850. Say that house is now worth like $650. You can get it for that price. Maybe you can go in with some conditions. So already it's a bit more of like a level playing field. The minimum down payment on that alone is like $20,000 difference in savings. So for $850, the assumed minimum down payment is around like $60,000, and for $650 it's about $40,000. So you've already saved $20,000 right off the hop, which makes it a lot easier to actually get in, not even taking into account the fact that we're seeing.
Oh, you put down the extra 20 and you've actually got even a smaller mortgage.
Or you could do that too, right? And your payments are pretty close to the same with a 1.25% increase.
But you wait 5 years from now, if the interest rates drop back down again, now your purchase price is still fixed. It doesn't change with the interest, right?
Exactly.
So you're saving that money because you're only paying interest on $650, not $850.
Yeah.
So if you're going to buy based on an interest rate, you're nuts. You need to start basing it on the value of the property, the purchase price, the whole thing. You have to look at the whole thing and say, 5 years from now, if the interest rates go up, I bought it at a good price, so I'm not as worried about it. Whereas you're going to buy it 1%, which we were seeing, 1.99% mortgages, which was crazy.
Yeah, it's not sustainable. It's not.
That's great.
You know.
1.99. Let's go buy a house and you spend $1 million, and 6 months later you could have bought it for $850.
Yeah.
That interest rate just did this. It doesn't care about you.
And I think that, you know what, people are making decisions with too short-sighted a time horizon right now too. You got to look long into the horizon. Like, you know what, nothing against people who are buying and flipping houses. I think this is a tough time to do it because you're speculating, right?
If you're going to buy a house and sell it soon, then you better pay attention to the interest rates and what you paid for.
Right. But if you're a long-term investor,
yeah.
You're buying something for the next 5 or 10 years. You've got so much time horizon. And I was driving here the other day and I saw cranes. Right? Cranes are big developments, right? They're building out. You know how long it takes a builder to build something? Like, I was talking to someone, and they were saying it took them 5 years to develop the plan before they put a shovel into the ground.
Yeah.
And I think we can all agree developers have a lot more money than us, right? They've got big pockets, right?
Yeah.
Could you imagine what the world would look like if developers ended up saying, oh shit, rates are going up, sell everything. We would just have a whole world of single-family homes. No one would ever build an apartment building, ever, or build a skyscraper, right? But these people have long-term visions, long-term trajectories, and I think, why wouldn't we as home buyers, like if you're thinking about buying a home, like listen, your home is not the stock market. You know, you're not buying and selling and trading it every single month. You're buying it, you're living in it, it provides you utility, it's a shelter, and guess what? You never save as much money anywhere else as you pay down your principal on a mortgage. So, like, whether interest rates are high to your point, Sean, or low, just buy it. Just buy it. I know I sound like a used car salesman when I say this stuff, but it's true. Just buy it and stay in it. And forget about the fluctuations up and down. Just deal with it.
Right. So, I mean, the last question was basically, what do you see coming in the future? Like, where do you see interest rates going, market going?
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about Elon Musk in the future. Like, what do I see in the future? Like, ooh.
You have a Jeep, not a Tesla, so what are you thinking? You're going to trade it in?
Well, my wife's got a Tesla. It's pretty cool. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, you know, it is pretty cool. Like, self-driving cars,
and
I don't know.
And you can do karaoke in them, I heard.
Oh, yeah. You know,
who doesn't want to do
I don't
karaoke? No one wants to drive with me.
You can change the horn on the Tesla, you know, mission 35, beep, mission 35, mission 35, mission 35.
Totally. Well, then it would save my hand from doing that all the time anyways, right?
Every time you drive around, you could have that playing outside the car.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's dangerous, man. I read that and I was like, that's an option.
I don't know if that would be good marketing. People might point out, I don't know.
It actually has a disclaimer on it that says if you record something and the car plays it out loud, be prepared to anger other drivers. It actually says it right in there.
Really?
That was hilarious. I thought it was awesome. Anyway, so I mean,
well, as long as Elon Musk doesn't get into mortgages, I feel good about that. Okay, because he'll just automate the
solar
shit
panels, satellite dishes, and cars, and whatever he's else.
And Starlink internet, like
that's what I mean. Starlink is awesome. So, but anyway, so.
What was the question?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
I'm thinking about Teslas now.
Like mortgage approvals right now, you still seeing lots of them coming in? Like, are people still applying for mortgages, or is everybody sitting on the fence?
Yeah, I've seen some coming in for sure. I feel like people are a little bit on the fence in terms of refinancing right now, but ultimately, like, if you got to pay off your debt, you got to pay off your debt.
I mean, refinancing makes sense, though. I mean, you're not purchasing anything; you're trying to minimize your costs, right?
Yeah, I think so too. I think refinancing is a tougher conversation right now because a lot of people who ended up, if you did take a fixed rate in the past 2 years, like we talked about, you got a low rate. Yeah. Right? So now it was, if I've got an interest rate of 2.5%, and now the interest rate's 5%, or let's say it's a variable and I'm 3.5% or something like that.
And you're coming up for renewal, then.
Yeah, well, if you're coming up for renewal, it's an easier conversation because it's up for renewal. Yep. But if you've got a lot of debt outside, you really have to sit down with a great mortgage agent who gives a shit, you know what I mean? Who cares, right? Because a lot of mortgage agents and stuff like that will just say, break your mortgage, refinance it into a new one, and call it a day, right? But you got to look at your options. Like, not everybody is the same situation. Some mortgages will have big penalties. Sometimes it's actually cheaper to keep the bulk of your mortgage with your existing lender and do a second mortgage. And the second mortgage might be a lot more expensive, but it's only for a smaller portion, right? So it really depends on what somebody needs in that. But I think to Felicia's point, yeah, there's a lot of, I think the winners right now are the ones who are getting pre-approved because they're buying houses. Like, in the last
getting the market.
Yeah, in the last 2 years, we ended up seeing people, and I'm sure, we've had clients where it's like, oh, they were pre-approved. They never bought anything because they just kept missing out and got buyer's fatigue. Now people are getting pre-approved, and then in a week or two, oh my God, you got a purchase and sale agreement. You've actually got a house.
There's lots of houses on the market right now. I mean, inventory is way up compared to January. We're actually seeing new listings outpace new sales. So we're balanced in even some areas like Niagara, for example, total buyer's market Niagara. You got selection, You're not competing with anybody, it's crazy. Hamilton and areas, I still think we're still seeing a little bit of, depending on the property.
Yeah.
If it's a really good neighborhood, good location, really nice house, you might get competition. But you're not seeing 20 offers, you're seeing 4.
Yeah.
I'd rather compete with 4 than 20, I'll be honest with you. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I think it's the opportunity now. I think investors are off the market right now as well too. When we were in the peak of the market, 25% of the purchases going through were for investors, and I think investors right now are kind of like, if you were an investor in the market over the past 2 years,
you probably sat quiet.
Well, like some people probably bought a lot in the past 2 years if you're an investor, but you might. I think you're probably at the buffet right now feeling full because interest rates are going up right now. It's like the rice expanding in your stomach after all-you-can-eat sushi bar. No,
I know what that's like.
Okay, I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about. Okay, I love sushi, but not because that's eating into your cash flow, right? So I think some of those investors are like, ooh, I gotta digest right now to see where I'm at. But if you're a first-time investor, don't listen to the news right now. And we talked about this before. Don't listen to the news. Don't listen to your buddy who bit off more than he can chew. If you're a first-time investor, opportunity, I've said this a million times, is arriving somewhere and not seeing anybody there. Yeah. Opportunity is not arriving somewhere. And
we haven't seen sales below asking price in 2 years.
Yeah.
So for an investor, I mean, most of my investors sat on the fence simply because they didn't want to compete and pay $100K over asking. They're like, I'm here to make money, not spend more than I want to.
Yep.
So I said, well, let's just chill out, let's sit and wait. So now we're running into a territory now where it's becoming feasible. You're actually going to see below asking. You've got your conditions in, you've got everything else in. You can make a solid decision. Even financing conditions are going to start showing back up in deals soon.
Yeah, so and for the investors,
pay attention because the prices are coming down.
And it's important to remember too, everybody has to live somewhere, right? Everybody has to live somewhere. So if less people are purchasing, what are more people doing? Renting. So renting
is quite cheap right now.
Yeah, well, and
when you look at the price of the homes that we're going and the actual mortgage payment, it used to be that you could own a home for less than a rental payment. Now it's not there.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, in conjunction when it comes down to payment. True.
So,
I think
so if you're going to rent a house for $3,000 a month, you couldn't buy that same house for $3,000 a month.
True. Yeah. I think
no chance.
In comparison, rents have gone up astronomically year over year. Yep. But you're right. That's it's good.
Your mortgage payments have ballooned to the point where you could rent and put money in the bank to save up to buy that house later.
Possibly, yeah. But I think for anybody that wants to jump in the market right now, I don't see any reason why not. Because you know what? If there is still an adjustment left in the marketplace that's with still, because there still will be, we're sitting here June 2022, we're still probably going to see some interest rate hikes in July.
The July is coming, right?
Yeah, so July, they already said Bank Canada, expect another 0.5 point. That sucks, but it's probably reality. But are we going to see the bottom, the black hole, the death, the destruction, the zombie apocalypse? No, I don't think so, right? We're going to see an adjustment, right? Mm-hmm. And that's where a lot of people are going to come in and say, hey, this is a good time to buy. So
I think this summer is going to be key.
I heard a great quote, I think, from Conrad, actually, and he ended up saying, I think everybody's going to say, I should have sold my house in February of 2022.
Yep.
And then they're going to say, I should have bought a house in June of 2022.
Yeah, only time will tell. We can't predict the future, but...
You can't?
No.
I thought you...
See, I had no idea you were going to say that. See, I couldn't...
No, you did know. You did know. No. I saw it.
Absolutely not. Alrighty, so where can we find you guys? Where are you guys? All over...
Where are you, Felicia?
Social media?
Where are you? Where are you?
I am on social media. I've got a Facebook page. You can just search my name, Felicia Matchett Mortgage Agent. We'll come right up, and I do a lot of posting on Instagram as well. I'm very, very active on there because I'm a millennial, and I spend all my time on there. Okay. But Felicia Matchett Mortgages, just all one word.
Cool. Yeah, totally. And yeah, Google us, Mission 35 Mortgages. You can find us there anywhere. So
I'll throw the links in the description on the channel below, so you guys can click there. And you can always reach out to me anytime, messaging if you want to connect with any of our preferred professionals anytime. So don't forget, I'm Sean Hartley, Real Estate Daily Truth, Remax Escarpment, Team Gemini. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because I didn't say it in the middle. We got talking, and I'm like, you know what? We're going to have to get the little pop-up thing. It's probably going to be there. It's probably already done. Well, too late.
You know what? This wasn't.
I'm saying this now, and I'm going to edit this later. I'm going to put it in. I'm going to go, you didn't need to say all that.
This wasn't that ugly, to be honest. This was kind of like, maybe you should to the,
But you're not wearing pants, remember?
Yeah, I know. Well, that's not ugly.
Whoa. Okay. Anyway, we're done. Thanks.
Low.
Take care.
That's
Bye.
Low. Thanks, Sean.
Awesome.
Thanks, Sean.